You know a character's story is good when you miss him like a family member. When you feel like you were there, fighting by his side, sharing his pain, and being part of his journey. And the moment to say farewell seems empty, yet meaningful. So grab a tissue and come with Uncle Vermillion, because we're about to count down the 10 saddest deaths in Star Wars. Kanan Jarrus. Kanan spent years hiding from the Empire after surviving Order 66. He felt like a failure who survived by luck and thanks to the sacrifice of his master. But in darkness, he met Hera and gained a new purpose. He had more to fight for than the fate of the galaxy. He had a family in the Ghost Crew, a place to call home, a son who was about to be born, and a son he chose to look after in Ezra. But when Hera was taken prisoner under the Governor Arinda Pryce, Kanan went hero mode. Kanan, Satine, and Ezra rescued her, and things were on the edge of ending well. But Arinda commanded the AT-AT to shoot at the fuel platform in their range. To hold the explosion, Kanan stayed behind. Hera tried to stay with him, but with the Force, he held the fire while pushing her to safety. Blinded by Darth Maul months earlier, the Force gave him one last blessing, when for the last time he recovered his sight and managed to see Hera in the eyes one last time before meeting his final fate. Tech. At first glance, Tech always seemed like the cold, logical member of the Bad Batch. But beneath that personality was someone who cared deeply about his brothers. During their escape in Iriadu, surrounded by Imperial troops, Tech had an impossible choice to make. Cut the support rail cable, sacrificing himself so the others could escape, or slow the team in hope they would all survive somehow. He didn't even hesitate before embracing certain death. His last words were simple.
When have we ever followed orders?
Darth Vader. Through Anakin's perspective, we lived the most amazing journey possible. If you watched Star Wars as a kid, you might think of little Ani as part of your own life journey. We saw that sweet boy who dreamed of becoming a hero and saving all the slaves, walking step by step towards the deepest darkness and becoming the most savage monster. I confess that most of Anakin's main decisions make me mad. He could have prevented most of his own tragedy if he had more wit and better judgment. But put yourself in Anakin's place for a moment. Imagine yourself as a 9-year-old kid who was born into slavery and suffered unimaginable things off-screen, lost his father figure and mother in completely avoidable situations, while the all-powerful Jedi neglected them. And after years of war, it's very likely for him to lose his wife, and the Council simply doesn't grant him master ranking so he can study more about the Force in secret archives and prevent a tragedy. Anakin lost everything. His mother, best friend, love of his life, and even himself. Even though his choices sealed a lot of his miserable fate, it's heartbreaking to watch how much pain he causes to himself and others. But thanks to Luke, he could meet peace for the first and last time. Han Solo and Leia. Han and Leia should easily make the podium, but their plot was treated poorly. Maybe they represent the saddest deaths in all Star Wars for the missed opportunities of what could have been. Still, their death is sad enough to make this list. Han Solo got his screen time, showed us a little of what we craved for decades. He was Rey's father figure and the legend of the Force Awakens group. And more than that, he was our favorite smuggler and hero of the galaxy. He kept inside all the pain from losing his son to the dark side. He had his grief for years, thinking of what he could have done better. And he has the opportunity to see his son again, look him in the eyes. A glimpse of hope that the family would be together once again. But shortly after Han saw the light in Ben's eyes, Ben watched the light leave his father's. Ben chose to embrace Kylo Ren's persona and settled his fate for good. When it comes to Leia, Kylo Ren just broke her heart right after stopping Han's, and she passed away in complete darkness, with the Republic ripped apart and knowing that her son chose to relieve his grandfather's tragedy. Satine cries. Satine was a political idealist. She did her best to lead Mandalore towards a bright and peaceful future. But the problem for a pacifist to fight for her ideals against a terrorist cell that worships warriors' culture is that she will fight guns with flowers. And it usually doesn't end well for the flowers. Things went even worse when the Death Watch made an allegiance with Darth Maul and Savage Opress and ruled over Mandalore. Her idealistic view for her people was shattered by the new government. And for the tragedy to be complete, Maul knew about Obi-Wan's feelings for her. To be fair, the Sith Lord might have taken it personally to see Obi-Wan hanging out with a gorgeous Duchess babe, since he cuts Maul's beef from the waist down. But jokes aside, to harm Obi-Wan, Maul made her prisoner and took her life in front of his eyes. The Jedi held her tight in his arms, dropping tears while hearing her last words.
You should have chosen the dark side, Master Jedi. Your emotions betray you.
Fives. The saddest part about Five's death is how he could have absolutely changed the galaxy's fate. He was a real clone boy, loyal to his fellow Jedi and the Republic. And he discovers the biggest plot in the galaxy, the inhibitor chips that would ultimately turn the clone army against their generals. Fives tries to warn his brothers, the Jedi, anyone who could believe him. But his words? Treated as a reverie from a madman. He ends up executed by his brothers as a traitor and never got his justice. But the streets won't forget his name.
Oh, stay back! Don't do it, soldier! Get away from me! No!
Qui-Gon's death is a tragedy that leaves many questions. Would he be able to prevent Dooku's fall? To discover the plot against the Jedi? To train Anakin into fulfilling his destiny in the light side? To save Shmi from slavery? To guide Anakin and Padme into a bright, happy future? To change the Jedi Order into something more open to love and attachment? At the time we lost this great man, destiny gave birth to the most critical what-if scenarios of all time. Padme Amidala. Padme lost everything. Her husband, the Republic, the Jedi, the future she believed in. She was so brave, courageous, kind, and lovely that it's just heartbreaking to see such an amazing person suffering from others' mistakes and ambitions. She dedicated her life to democracy and love, and spent her last moments contemplating the love of her life being responsible for the Empire's rise out of anger and hate. I actually believe that Palpatine drained her life to save Vader's life. But seeing what she went through, I totally understand dying out of sadness. Luke Skywalker. Luke is not only the most important character of the franchise, he is the heart of Star Wars, the main hero, the man who enters a room with Darth Vader and Darth Sidious and is the only one leaving it alive. He even exorcises Vader out of Anakin. But the saddest part about his last moments is that it happens off-screen, when Disney thought it was a good decision to transform him into a completely different person. The most noble, kind-hearted, and selfless hero possible became a grumpy old man who cares about nothing and leaves no legacy. The grief in his death doesn't happen when Kylo Ren orders his execution or when he runs out of energy on a distant planet. It happens as soon as we see him after decades, and his doing is taking Rey's lightsaber just to throw it away like garbage.
The sacred Jedi texts! Well, I was weak, unwise. I can't be what she needs me to be.
Shmi Skywalker. After a lifetime in slavery, Shmi had a brief relief and joy from all the pain she suffered, since she gave birth to a miraculous boy with no father. Anakin was her whole world, and he made her as happy as she could have been after living through the destiny that the galaxy had reserved for her. But the call to destiny took the boy very far away. Little is said about her sacrifice, about how she happily gave up on the little she had for the sake of a son she never expected. And the saddest part is to think that she was only aiming for Anakin's happiness, without ever knowing how tragically his life would end inside Vader's suit. In her final moments, she had a small relief from seeing Anakin's face one last time. But at what cost? She endured days of unimaginable suffering at the hands of the Tusken Raiders, and the moment she closed her eyes for the last time was the very moment Anakin opened his eyes to darkness. Now I want to hear from you. Which Star Wars death hit you the hardest? And is there a character you think deserved a spot on this list? Leave your ranking in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Star Wars countdown, theory, or hidden detail. May the Force be with you, always.